Welcome back to the program where whenever we're not on screen, James makes fun of the way I speak, in the frantic
Will's
way that
dumb.
I'm not dumb. You're dumb. Um.
Eh,
So as promised, here's a YouTube story. It's gonna be the first promise of telling a story that I'm actually gonna fulfill because I didn't forget it. Surprisingly, it's probably gonna be the only time. Uh, Considering I'm in the progress of forgetting it as I speak. Um. So I was on YouTube looking for Halo 3 footage, and the interesting thing is, if you noticed, whenever you're playing the Master Chief in Halo 2, he has on his on the back of his hand, square metal plates with 5 holes in it. Don't ask me how that does anything, but for whatever reason they're there. I mean, I understand why they'd be on the back of his hand. I don't know why they wouldn't be solid and why. All right, well, I'm dead.
okay.
So, anyways,
Well, GG.
yeah. If you run in there, you'll be safe. Just kidding. It's locked.
Yep.
Bye.
I learned that the hard way.
We forgot to turn
Thanks,
off the
Will.
skulls again because you don't you think to do those things and then you get on a roll recording and
Yeah. We are in a
and then you
golden
forget to do
phase
them.
right now, which probably means that it's going to
James, don't
sound
say that.
terrible, and I did the audio wrong, and everything.
So many things are
The
gonna be
house
wrong.
got set on
The
fire
frame
when
the frame
exporting
rate's
the
gonna be
media.
weird, so it's all gonna be unsynced and all that, and then it's gonna get
That means our
views
viewership's
because
gonna.
it's gonna peak for all these episodes
Yeah.
because the frame rate messes up and it desyncs the video game audio and the video. So an interesting thing that I found out whenever I was looking up YouTube videos for Halo 3 was, Master Chief and Halo 2 had those square backhand things. Presumably, I don't know. Never mind. So they and then in Halo 3 and all the videos that they had a he had like a kind of star triangle thing on the back of his hand with 3 holes in it. So that's how I knew if someone was playing a joke, if they were using Halo 2 footage or if it was legitimately Halo 3 footage. Because me and my brother were dumb kids, so we didn't really understand,
Graphics.
how YouTube channels worked. You know what I mean? So, so I would look at him and
I'm
I was
dead,
like,
by
no,
the way.
Aaron, this is. Yeah, I kind of figured. You're dead to me.
Wow then.
So, so I look at him and I was like, no, this is Halo 2 footage. This is how I know. And he's like, no, you're just dumb. And lo and behold, I was right. So, suck it.
Yeah. Suck it, Aaron. Just kidding,
Yeah,
Aaron.
seriously.
Don't beat me up. Please don't take my lunch money.
Yeah. By the way, I should say it now. That's AARON.
Yeah. Shout out to our
The social
Aaron.
security number is. Yeah, there's like a million Aarons out there.
But
And
none of
almost
them
every
are
single
you,
one of
Aaron.
them. Yeah, almost every single one of them are garbage. Almost. There are a few good ones.
Yeah. A few good Aarons.
Yeah.
Aaron.
Yeah. And there's like a million different ways to spell Aaron, which is really annoying.
Yep. Did you see that quad
so anyways,
that I just got?
Bike? No. Where'd
No,
you
the
get it? Those
quadrikill.
aren't in. Those are only in. That's an overkill, James. In Halo speak, that's an overkill.
Oh. But I'm
And you're
getting all.
complaining about me
it's letting
calling
me
you a
see all my
scrub.
medals.
So metal, bro.
Like, yeah. Freaking metal. The most metal thing. Needler! Needler,
Oh,
Needler,
I meant to say earlier.
Needler.
Whenever you were telling me, whenever you were like, oh, are you listening? Is it nice to light some candles whenever you go to take a shower and put on some smooth jazz? And I meant to say, because we got distracted with the whole Careless Whispers. This is like, I don't even know if that was in the actual episode. I think we cut that part out. But if we didn't,
Yeah, we cut that part out. It's in the blooper reel.
Yeah. And the showing you how bad we suck. So, anyways, and I was actually gonna say, well, actually, no. I do listen to some smooth jazz every so often, but for the most part, I listen to quite the opposite. I have a
Who you
very
met?
interesting taste in these. I don't, to be quite honest with you, I really don't know any of the categories of anything. I just call it something and then people get mad at me, and I don't really care. Like, right now, the top 3 bands that I'm listening to at this very moment, just in case anyone's curious, is Motionless in White, Suicide Silence, and Chelsea Grin. What about you, James?
Wait, oh, with music?
Yeah. Who are you
Well,
listening to right now? Like top 3 that
21
you're
Pilots
listening
is
to right
always
now.
good.
I'm not a huge fan. I don't really
yeah,
like
I know
listening
you're
to
not a
stuff,
huge
but
fan.
everyone has their opinion.
AWOL
it doesn't
Nation
matter
is
if it's
always
dumb,
good to
right?
me.
Yeah, I do like AWOL Nation. They're pretty good.
Mhm.
They have a very distinct sound, and I like to listen to that every so often.
Yeah.
Um,
And then also, Walk
I really
the
like
Moon.
listening to
but
music.
it's not just, but it's not because
I-
of Shut Up and Dance, because everybody only knows Shut Up and Dance, and like, it's not even their good
I
song.
don't know Shut Up and Dance.
Yeah, I was
Um,
guessing you wouldn't know that one though, but
Yeah, I mean, I can't entirely get mad or you can't entirely get mad because if I were to say Abigail by Motionless in White, you wouldn't know who that is or what that is.
I know Motionless in White
So.
is, but I don't know Abigail.
Well, yeah, that's because I talk about him all the gosh dang time.
Yeah,
Uh,
I surprised Will because he didn't know that I knew that he liked the Motionless in White.
well, I was surprised because because I'm terrible at remembering things, so it always makes me feel kind of bad. Whenever people
So you're
know
hoping
things
I
about
don't
me
know
and I don't
things?
know. Yeah, pretty much. It just makes me sleep better at night because then it like I sleep secure in the knowledge that that I don't need to know things about people. It doesn't need to clog up my memory any more than things already do. So just as long as we mutually know nothing about each other, it really helps because it doesn't complicate anything. I mean, granted, I've known you for like a million years, so it doesn't really matter. So, anyways,
It's like
I just
whenever I
didn't
don't know a
that-
person's name, and then I find out they don't
Yeah.
know my name either. So it's like,
It's such a relief.
oh, what a relief.
Yeah.
And sometimes you can have a nice conversation about trying to remember each other's names after that, like,
Yeah.
and then it's like it makes it easier to remember that person's name. If that makes any sense whatsoever.
It's either they have to tell me their name several times. They have to get mad about me not knowing their name, or they just have to. I just have to come up with a nickname for them, and then it's usually really easy to remember their name.
Or I have
like
to
their
just
actual
really
name.
like them a lot from like day one
Well, yeah.
or from the start. I'm just like, okay,
Yeah.
this is a name I'll
Um,
have to remember.
So, anyways, so I was talking about I don't remember how it got brought up, but I was going to go see Motionless in White. By the way, very good performers. But I didn't already say that. Sorry if I did. But I really like them. And then James randomly surprised me. He's like, "They're your favorite band, right?" I'm like, yeah." Kind of makes me feel bad because I don't know what your favorite band is.
Well, I don't really have
uh,
a solid favorite band because I really do love
Yeah.
a lot of bands, but I have like
Well, don't
bands
get
that
me
I
wrong, I do
willingly
too,
suggest to
but,
people. Because there are like
Um,
some bands that I would never suggest to anyone because I know nobody really likes them. So like, or that I
Yeah.
know because I know people wouldn't really enjoy listening to them because I have a weird taste
Yeah.
in music sometimes. But
Sometimes I do too. So. But see, the biggest thing with me is the reason why they're my favorite band is because I have these really weird spurts where I'll just go through listening to one band and one type of music for a very long time, and then I won't listen to another band because they're different, and well, not and so I just won't be in the mood to listen to them at the point. So, but for whatever reason, Motionless in White, I can listen to them all the time and not get tired of it.
yeah,
Except there are a few songs I don't particularly like by them, don't get me wrong, but
Mhm.
every single time I watch them perform, even if it's a song that I don't like, it's still a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But anyway,
see, that's the
that's
thing
another
with
point.
a band is that like, it's not as much that a band that you really love has all perfect songs, but it's that the band that you love has so many good songs that it outweighs the bad songs. That's how you know that you really love the
Yeah.
band. Does that make sense?
I don't
Because
think I've
Walk
ever
the Moon, there
I-
are some songs that I don't really like by them, or Well, 21 Pilots, I'm pretty sure I love like all of theirs, but Walk the Moon, there are definitely some songs that I'm like, but I still do think they're one of my favorite bands. That makes sense.
The interesting thing for me is I don't think I've ever found an album where I like every single song on it. There's always one song.
Oh yeah, there's always
that
that one song where it's just like,
despise.
why is this on here?
Yeah. But the rest of them are phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
I really hate it
agree.
whenever it's vice versa though. Whenever only one song is good and the rest of them kind of suck.
Yeah. This might be a very offensive statement. Don't mean to offend anyone, but that's kind of how I felt with AWOL Nation's run. Like there were a few good songs, and like the rest of them were kind of. But I still really like AWOL Nation. So.
And the album with Ceylon, I don't know if there's any more than that.
Megalithic Symphony.
That's
a good album though. I really like it.
It is a good album. The thing that's kind of annoying with them is a lot of their songs are very different from each other.
Yeah. You don't get the same song with each one. If you listen to Sail and then you listen to like Shoestrings, you're gonna be like, this is the same band.
What? Yeah.
Okay.
Because that's.
Yeah, but.
Tartarus looks really gross and ugly in this version.
Yeah.
Hope everyone likes us talking about music. It's one of the many topics that we like to speak about, and I'm sure
music, movies, video games. That's the program.
Yeah. Pretty much. We occasionally we talk about the game that we're actually playing, like very occasionally.
Mm-hmm. Yep, every once in a while.
Might as well be classified as a podcast. It doesn't take an hour. But some people actually like that. I like that sometimes. Sometimes, whenever I'm planning on going to sleep or I'm just doing something else, I like to listen to that sort of thing.
My friend just sent me a picture of him playing Fallout New Vegas, and he looked at his status screen, and he is literally crippled everywhere.
Oh, God. I hate whenever that happens. Did I ever tell the story about one of my first interactions with Fallout? Whenever one of the first times I actually played it? I don't think I have. I'm pretty sure I haven't. If I have, well, get prepared for another rehashing of a story because we've run out of things to talk about. In Fallout 3, because I got Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas one year for Christmas, both at the same time. And they, and you know how because of the way the Vault Boy is, whenever for the status screen, your left leg it's like the foot is faced towards you, so it looks like a little nub. It doesn't really look like a foot unless you stare at it for a little while. But at first glance, it looks like a little nub. So one time, I got crippled on that leg, and it was the first time I ever got anything crippled. And I was like, oh well, this is pretty cool. Kind of sucks, and I didn't realize I needed stim packs to fix it. So I got it. I really liked the game, and then I realized how difficult it was. Didn't play it for like a year or so. Played it again, and I was like, wow, this game is it's really good. So, anyways, so I got my leg crippled, and I can't remember if I paid someone to fix it or if I fell asleep or I fixed it somehow. And I was like, whoa, that happens? Like if it permanently looks like a nub now on that screen. And then I played it once I finally got into it and started understanding the game. I was like, no, I'm just an idiot. That's all. Good.
Yep.
I have a lot of those stories where I'm just an idiot. I don't know if that speaks volumes about my personality or of what I just remember. I don't remember.
I remember
being very
so
disappointed that you couldn't
Tartarus's
pick up.
hammer.
Yeah. I remember being disappointed that you couldn't pick it up, and I remember being very excited once I heard that you could pick it up in Halo 3. Just not his hammer, which was far more destructive. But any brute chieftain hammer. And that was really cool.
Yeah.
I personally preferred the design of Tartarus' hammer. But I definitely prefer the brutes in Halo 3 because they're a lot easier to kill.
They made this last sequence seem so much cooler in the Anniversary Edition
than it actually was in the original.
Yeah, where Miranda just
like
runs up and pulls it out. I don't know.
Tell you what though, whenever I'm editing this later, I'm gonna look at the time and I'm like, yes, because our last finale, which was the Saints Row 4 finale, was about an hour and a half long, I want to say. I haven't edited it yet.
I don't think it was an hour and a half long.
It was
It was
over
like
an
half
hour.
an hour long.
Um,
Really? Oh,
no,
okay.
it was over an hour.
Okay.
Because I looked at the file the other day, and I was like, oh boy. Maybe it was only like 58 minutes. Maybe I'm
Yeah,
just
I
remembering
get what
wrong.
you're saying.
I know that it's
I think it
I
was
know that
close
it's very
to an
close
hour,
to an
though, now
hour.
that I think about it.
It's somewhere between like 55 minutes and an hour and a half. It's a large gap,
Yeah.
but my memory's flawed. Don't make fun of me, or do. It doesn't really matter to me. It's not gonna hurt me either way. Tinkerbell. That's copyrighted. I don't think it is. Anyways, the Ark. Ooh, man, I remember whenever I was playing this game for the first time and I saw this cutscene and I was like, wow, this is so cool. There's no way the game could end right now because I was a kid, so my sense of time was kind of different. So I was like, wow, this is really cool. I can't. What's the next mission? And then it's like, then the end credits roll. I'm like, why you do this to me?
It's
So
because
anyways,
this is like half a game. Like, they didn't publish the end of the game. Because they rushed.
Pretty much.
But whenever they rush a game, whenever they rushed a game back then, it'd produce an awesome game instead of rushing a game and producing Sonic 06.
I think the reason why
Well,
that
that's
is
the same
because
time. Or
if you
not the
rush a
same time,
game
2 years.
now, I mean, like this game, it still has its flaws, obviously. But everybody really liked it. They didn't like the ending of the story. Some people didn't really care for the Arbiter. But a lot of people really liked the multiplayer. I never played it. But I remember. But the reason why people don't like rush games, like the reason why rush games are so terrible now, like worse than they've ever been. Don't get me wrong, Rush NES games were terrible because you didn't know what to do. There was no internet, you know. But the reason why rush games nowadays are terrible, like far more than they used to be, is because there's more things that can go wrong, because there's technology that has advanced so much. So, whenever games have a lot of glitches in them, I'm far more forgiving than most people, because I know it's difficult. So I know that I couldn't do it, and I know that technology can be kind of hard to wrap your mind around, especially with a huge development team. So there can be several people pulling in several different directions if it's not managed properly, which is kind of hard to do. So I'm far more accepting than most people. I'm gonna finish up the story about. Gosh dang it, James! You got me off on a tangent. You know what happens whenever I do that.
No, I have no idea what happens when you do that.
Oh right. So I was simultaneously looking forward to editing the finale of Saints Row 4, because I was like, oh, we're finally done with this thing, so now I can start releasing Halo 2, which I really like the series, because I think we've had a lot of fun with it, more than we have previously. I think it's better. But I was also like, if exporting or rendering 15 minutes, which is just a regular episode, takes somewhere between an hour and a half and 2 hours, that's terrible. But exporting an entire and then uploading it can take up to an hour too. So I'm really not looking forward to rendering and uploading that episode, but it'll happen eventually.
Yeah.
That's all. So that'll be several hours of my life gone. But whatever. It is what it is. See ya. And what are we playing next? Gat Out of Hell, right?
Yeah. Gat Out of Hell?
Spoilers, it's gonna be Gat Out of Hell. I mean, it's probably gonna be a really short series because there isn't a whole lot you can do in that game.
Yeah.
But it'll be fun.
Yeah.
It's a very fun game.
Every 8
I like
out of
it.
8, mate.
Yeah, so we're gonna go for another half a minute.
Yep.
Because we're at 19 minutes right now,
9.
and I hate nines.
Will hates nines.
Yeah. We might go an extra minute because I don't know how long it took us to think. It didn't take us that long, but so I hope you really enjoy. This is just a chat. Hope you like this chat.
Yeah.
It's a very nice chat.
So how's your life been, you viewers? Like, comment, subscribe. If you think your life has been good. If it hasn't been
well,
good,
then
like, comment,
if it
subscribe.
hasn't been, if it hasn't been good, then hopefully this has made it better,
Yeah,
and which will
you need
encourage you to
us. You
like,
need
comment,
some
subscribe, because
comedy.
then you're. I don't know. That's a bit of a stretch, James, to call this comedy.
Yeah,
Just
you need
saying.
to watch a train wreck.
Dude, have you ever seen a train wreck before? It's
Yeah.
gruesome. There's this one time whenever I was living in Charlotte that and my mom and one of her friends were gonna go pick up her friend's daughter
Uh huh.
from a train station, I want to say.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
or maybe it was just on, or maybe the railroad tracks were along the way or something.
Uh huh.
You know what a light rail is, right? It's kind of like a metro but
Yeah.
above ground. Um,
Yes.
and that's what it's called in Charlotte, is the light rail. I don't know why. Uh, so they're going to go pick her up from uh, University of North Carolina, Charlotte, which is UNCC. I just say that because people may not know what UNCC is. Anyways,
Mhm.
well, I guess you could also make the argument that it would be confused with Chapel Hill. But anyways, if it was called, if people were talking about Chapel Hill, they would say Chapel Hill. Anyway, okay, I'm
Yeah.
getting off topic. So
Yeah.
they were driving by, and and like two people died. I want to say it was someone like, I can't remember how one of them died, but one of them just stepped out onto the light rail as the train was going by, and the train hit him. And I was like, and then whenever my mom got back, she told me about this. I was like, why did just one outing involve two people just dying whenever you decide to leave the house? Whenever I leave the house, people don't die. And
Two
so,
people always
yeah,
have to die, Mom.
seriously.
I'm getting real tired of your
All right,
crap,
well,
Mom.
on that extremely morbid note,
Yeah.
you know, now we can end the episode
Like,
because
comment,
there's no
subscribe.
way this
Love
could
us.
be 19 minutes now. Well, James, it's like a genie. You can't ask a genie to make someone love you. That's like number one rule.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, it's
But
actually like number two.
could
I
you
don't
please,
remember.
could you please love me? I want someone to love me.
James, you know how the internet works. If you tell them to do something, they'll do the complete opposite just to spite you. That's why the
Yeah.
desyncing has gotten so much attention. And I keep on bringing it up. What if I want it to go away? I just don't have to talk about it. It's just that easy. Why don't I do that? All right,
Oh.
Will of the Future. Whenever you're editing this, remember, don't talk about it ever again. Okay?
All right. Sounds
Bye.
like a deal. Bye, peoples.
You're not future me.
I'm not. No. Okay. Bye.